Battle of Guadalcanal, rain, mud, and mosquitoes. For 3 months, that was my entire world. August 7th, 1942. I was just a kid from Ohio, barely old enough to shave, and suddenly I was part of the 1st Marine Division, splashing ashore on an island I'd never heard of, Guadalcanal. We were told it would be a quick fight, secure the airfield the Japanese were building, and we'd be out. They were wrong. Terribly wrong. What we stepped into wasn't a battle. It was a living nightmare. A 6-month struggle for a patch of jungle hell that would change the course of the Pacific War forever. Our first objective was the airfield, which we quickly named Henderson Field. Taking it was the easy part. Holding it was something else entirely. The Japanese weren't just going to let us have it. They called Guadalcanal the Island of Death, and they were determined to make it so for us. The nights were the worst. The jungle wasn't silent. It was alive with sounds you couldn't identify. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig could be an enemy patrol. We'd dig in, clutching our rifles, our knuckles white, staring into a darkness so complete it felt like it could swallow you whole. The Japanese would send what we called the Tokyo Express down the slot almost every night, warships that would pound our positions with shell fire. You'd huddle in your foxhole, dirt raining down on you, the explosions so loud your teeth would rattle. It felt like the world was ending night after night, and the ground assaults would come. Thousands of enemy soldiers, screaming bonsai, would charge our lines. It was chaos. Muzzle flashes, the deafening roar of machine guns, the desperate shouts of your buddies. You didn't fight with strategy. You fought with pure primal instinct just to see the sunrise. Living conditions were brutal. Our rations were constantly short. We had captured Japanese rice, coconut, anything we could find. Malaria, dysentery, and jungle rot were as big an enemy as the Japanese soldiers. We were gaunt, yellowed from disease, our uniforms rotting off our backs. We called ourselves the Walking Dead. Morale was a roller coaster. Some days, you'd share a joke with your buddy, maybe get a letter from home, and you'd feel a flicker of hope. The next, you'd see that same buddy fall, and despair would hit you like a physical blow. We were isolated, cut off, and it often felt like the world had forgotten us. But we held on. We had to. Henderson Field was the key. As long as our planes could fly, we had a fighting chance. The pilots of the Cactus Air Force were our heroes. We'd watch them take off, outnumbered, and climb into the sky to meet the enemy. Their dogfights overhead were our own personal spectacle of defiance. Every Japanese plane they shot down was a victory for all of us on the ground. Slowly, reinforcements and supplies started to trickle in. The Navy fought titanic battles at sea to keep our lifeline open. By February 1943, the tide had finally truly turned. The exhausted, starving Japanese forces began to evacuate. We had done it. We had held Guadalcanal. When I finally stepped on that transport ship, leaving the island behind, I was a different person. I was no longer that kid from Ohio. I was a survivor of the canal. The cost was immense, with thousands of American lives lost. But we had stopped the Japanese advance. We had proven they could be beaten. Guadalcanal wasn't just a battle for an island. It was a turning point, a brutal, bloody testament to the endurance of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable horror. We went there as boys, and those of us who came back as men who had seen the very worst of war.